The M1941 Johnson rifle and light machine gun. Sometimes either gun can be referred to as a Johnny gun or the Johnson, though these fantastic monikers are usually saved for the light machine gun. Both weapons were of similar design to one another, sharing the same operating principle and many parts. They were both good World War II era weapons. However, the rifle had to compete with the excellent Garand semi-automatic rifle, which was introduced to the Army before the Johnson. The machine gun had to compete with the fact the Army already had significant stockpiles of fully automatic BARs. But Johnsons weren't entirely ignored during World War II. Special forces would adopt these guns in small quantities. The short-lived Paramarines or Marine paratroopers, active from August 1940 until February 1944, equipped Johnson light machine guns. The machine gun fired the same .30-06 as the BAR, but was about 3 pounds lighter. The machine gun also used a standard 20-round magazine. This was a single-stack and side-mounted magazine. The side mounting tended to throw off the balance of the weapon, but it also made it easier to use while prone. The 1st Special Service Force, popularly known as the Devil's Brigade, used a limited supply of Johnson light machine guns. Overall, 9,500 Johnson light machine guns were built during the war. Almost 22,000 Johnson rifles were built during the war. One of the largest orders of the rifle came from the Dutch, who wanted to use them to arm their troops in the Dutch East Indies, due to the heightened tensions with Japan, but only about 2,000 rifles were shipped before the Japanese invaded. The U.S. Marine Corps, which didn't fully equip M1 Garands until 1942, purchased some of the Johnsons that couldn't be transferred to the East Indies due to the war. The Marines used the rifles in limited numbers, but reported them as a success. United States Marine Corps Captain Robert Hugo Dunlop carried a Johnson at Iwo Jima, where his actions earned him a Medal of Honor. His statue in Illinois shows him carrying a Johnson rifle. Besides these limited orders, some additional rifles went to Norway, Chile, and China. The rifle pops up in at least 2 Chinese productions set in the 1940s. There are almost no appearances in American media, besides popping up ever so briefly, being incorrectly used in the first Captain America film. The Johnson automatic rifle, like the M1 Garand, was a semi-automatic rifle and fired the same caliber of ammunition, .30-06. It did, however, differ in many ways. Firstly, unlike the Garand, the rifle is not gas-operated, it's recoil-operated. When the rifle is fired, both the barrel together with the bolt will move a short distance, about half an inch back with the bolt carrier traveling further back under the momentum imparted by the initial recoil stage, and the rifle cycles. The gun has a rotating bolt similar to what you'd find on an AR-15. Melvin Johnson, designer of the Johnson rifle, worked briefly with Eugene Stoner, who developed the AR-15. The Johnson rifle can hold 2 more rounds than the Garand, from what is likely the most odd feature of the rifle, the 10-round rotary magazine. The rotary magazine could be fed by 5-round stripper clips, already in use by the M1903 rifle. It further can be topped up using individual rounds, while there is still a round in the chamber, with the rifle ready to fire. The Johnson further didn't eject an en-bloc clip after firing the last round, though that's half the pleasure of firing an M1 Garand, isn't it? There were some minor disadvantages to the Johnson. The short recoil reciprocating barrel mechanism gave it reduced accuracy. As the rifle required the barrel to recoil, the weight of the barrel and muzzle end was light, which gave the rifle good balance. However, this also meant only the smallest of bayonets could be mounted to the rifle, without the added weight, disrupting the recoil mechanism. Ultimately, the Johnson rifle was considered slightly less reliable than an M1 Garand. Likely any reliability issues could have been solved with a more significant production run. Today, Johnson rifles are rare and highly sought after, with one in good condition, worth upwards of $10,000. Alright, I'm Johnny. Thank you for watching this Johnny Johnson review of the Johnson aka Johnny gun. I feel very obligated to collect this gun now. Anyway, do take care, and have a nice rest of your day.